Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I have Alex here with me. You can see him. Okay.
Squad, lovely to see
So,
you all.
yeah. So today I'm going to interview Alex, and we are going to talk all about growth marketing, which is one of my favorite subjects because I'm a marketer as well. And you know me, I'm non-tech, so I don't know as I'm definitely no code. I cannot write a single line of code. And if you tell me that, hey, Alma, there is a tool that can do your growth marketing on autopilot, I'm in. So Alex is nice enough to give me an account to try for V01. And I went into it and I noticed that it's actually quite simple how I can put the details about my company, and once I have everything set up, and say I set up all the emails, I set up whatever it is that I need for my marketing, all the bits and pieces, then it can run on autopilot. So, yes, the key is first, you need to correctly set it up. But once you set it up correctly, then it just goes on and on and on. It's like a money printing machine. That's what I'll say about this tool. Right, Alex?
Yes, ma'am. I love it. You're going to be my show person for every next meeting that I have.
Money printing machine, yeah, because this is what we are always looking for. Anything that can make my life simple as a marketer, I am all for it. So if you're new to our channel, please kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell button, because at the end of the live stream, so every week or almost every week, I interview founders like Alex with these up and coming tools that are going to revolutionize the way you work. And because of that, it would be nice if you can like, subscribe, and then now I'm going to introduce Alex. So Alex is the co-founder of V1. And Alex, can you please tell us your story? Like, how did you come up with V1? I really like the story you told me in our previous conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, hey, squad, lovely to see you all. And a few familiar faces in the chat that I see as well. For those who don't know me, my name is Alex, Australian born, grew up in Europe, now working out of Asia Pacific. I come from the SaaS startup scene, so a couple of you may have seen me from some of my previous software companies. But essentially, my core piece and the core focus has always been for me growth, and that lives in that digital marketing type space. Now, for those who might be familiar, maybe some not, last year you would have seen me around a lot of the LTD spaces as well, launching Web Studio, which was the last platform that I helped co-found and launch. And with Web Studio, as we were growing and really starting to scale up our user base, we then went out to go find an automation platform and a customer data platform. We tested so many, and all of them had either problems where it took a lot of extra work, a lot of like engineering, analytical type work, we'd have to bring people in, or they were really expensive and they charged on like a contact-based model, which doesn't work for software or SaaS companies because you have so many contacts, right? So about 6 months into Web Studio's growth, frustrated to the core, I was like, this is the thing that I want to move on and that I want to solve. And that was when I decided to set out and launch and start building V1. So V1 started about 6 months ago now, or in concept. It was with my co-founder that I think some of you may have seen on the streams before, but his name's Antoine. He's based out of Berlin in Germany. And we met here in Vietnam at a little accelerator called Antler, which is, I don't know, a popular global accelerator, I'd say. And went through the program, and I was like, Antoine, this is the thing that I really want to do. You are really good in your finance and the VC world. Let's partner up and let's build something together. So we then spent the following 4 months with interviews, talking to marketers, both leaders, non-leaders, junior level, all the way through to CMOs, speaking to a bunch of people, a bunch of advisors, and eventually settled on what is now called V1 as a product that we wanted to build, launch. And it sort of addressed a lot of those friction and pain points that I was highlighting when I was at Web Studio and every other company before Web Studio, as well as some reinforcement and a little bit of adjustment to fit well into the market.
Right. Because I think that you built this primarily for SaaS, right? But I
Yes.
could also see that it can be potentially used for an e-commerce business. Like when I looked into it, it can be used for that as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just SaaS. So please don't limit yourself that this is. or SaaS. You can use it for e-commerce. In fact, you can use it for anything, uh, for digital
Yeah.
sales, something like that, like digital product sale. You can use it on a lot of things, but the key word here is growth marketing on Autopilot, and it's for multi industry and especially for startups, that we usually when we work, or even for agencies, we need these kind of tools to grow our business. We don't want to assign one VA will be in charge for, oh, you have to write emails, this and that, or another VA will be assigned for that. Like, all those work would be no longer required. Then your people can focus on other more other more meaningful jobs that can move the money needle. That's very important. Okay, so let's do a demo of V01, and yeah, let's show them how easy it is to set up. And by the way, one more thing, for V1, you don't necessarily have to have a business yet. Well, you can start it like from the beginning. When you are setting up your business, it would be nice to already have this, because the key to doing things easier in the future is if you do it right the first time. Okay, so this is what I could say. Yeah, so let's do let's do this. I say a lot of things. Please share your screen, Alex, and we can do a demo.
Absolutely. And you're spot on, I think, with the it's you can start at any time of the business. A lot of the data collection and especially leads that you can collect and use and store and nurture earlier on, you'll be able to do so much more with them on the longer term. Part of this also played into the name. We came up with the name V01, not just there was a couple of reasons for the name, but part of the idea behind it is like, hey, use V01 with V01 of whatever you want to build and start with it from scratch. So what I'm going to walk you through the platform. The platform, as Elmo was saying, is aimed towards automating as much of the growth marketing as possible. So when I talk about growth marketing, I talk about pushing the needle of your different customers between them just being a lead. Maybe they've just signed up to a form, commented on something on Facebook, taking them from there and then pulling them through your business so that they go through awareness of who you are. They start to then sign up and then eventually monetize and turn into paying customers. What I'm going to walk you through is a couple of main parts of the platform, and then we can expand into any other questions that we have down the line. We'll start off with the dashboard, which is what you can see on the screen here. The dashboard is sort of holistically the biggest picture of the data that you would have. You can see it's designed to support that sort of growth model where it's really looking at the things that are most important to you as a business owner or as a marketer when you're starting to build and run that business. So you can see on the left-hand side here, as the leads come through the platform, we'll then start tracking them and accounting for them. How many of those leads are then converted into users? And then from there, you can also, at a glance, quickly look at how many of them came from which of your different channels. And this is something you can drill down to all the way down to the single ad or the single medium that you put through, so you know exactly what is working long term, so that you can see, hey, these guys are paying in 6 months' time, but where did they come from 6 months ago? What was my best performing content? From here, you can then dive down into any of the data points on a super micro level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the contact side of the platform here. Just toggle this closed. And I've got a little demo account that I created in one of the previous live streams. This is from a sort of typical CRM point of view, what you would have as your base contact information. So you can see as a user, you've got a first name, last name, their email, maybe phone number if you also use phone items, and then a couple of other different data points. Where V1 starts to change is you'll start seeing data points that are specifically geared towards marketing automation and that whole user growth journey. So you can see if we dive a little bit deeper, I can see this little person here. Where did they first come from? So you can see they came initially as a direct source. What was their last interaction with us? Again, this case was a direct source. And then a breakdown if they did come from any of your marketing campaigns on exactly what was the referrer, which source, which medium, as I was saying before, where you can drill down all the way to the most micro detail to know exactly what is bringing in your users that then convert into paying customers. Following that down a little bit further, we have our journeys, and we'll talk more about journeys in a little bit. But essentially, in growth marketing, we tend to operate around what is called the pirate funnel. This is a system that most companies, when they get started, don't use. But as they grow and as they start to scale, most companies then adopt a pirate type funnel. And what V01 does is will automatically move the user between the different stages as that user is interacting with your product, interacting with you as a business, or just interacting with your marketing comms. So these are sort of the boring text on a page, doesn't mean too much. As a rest of the overview of the contact space, you can also get a quick glance of what is happening, what are the latest comms that have gone out. You can send them direct one-to-one emails here, and then a high-level overview of what did they do and what were the touch points that they had on a little bit of a timeline. That covers, if I was to do a real quick recap, the dashboard, and then on a more micro level, all of the contact data. So any of those contact details, you'll be able to then update your dashboards and be like, hey, dashboard, just show me all of the users that came from X campaign or X source, or all the users that just converted into this amount of money. Super customizable. You can change it end to end. From there, as Elmo was saying before, we want to build things out so that we can automate as much as possible. And I'll jump into the questions in a little bit, squad. I'll just go through this piece, and then we'll do the overview, and then we'll do questions, and we'll jump into questions for each of the stages.
Okay, before we proceed to the next part, okay, so there's a relevant question here.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody does it remove duplicate submissions automatically?
Yes, sir. So it does. It will map duplicate submissions on name, phone, and email, and you can customize how you want this to be mapped, or if you do want to keep duplicates if they do come through. But as a general rule, when you first get it set up out of the box, if it finds a contact that has the same email data as the one that is already in the system, it will just merge them and create the one contact.
Okay,
great question. Do we have any more questions before we move to the next step, Elma?
No more questions for now. Okay, we will have more later.
For sure. So now we're going to dive into a little bit more of the complex side of the platform. But this is really the growth marketing piece. Now, it sounds a bit scary off the bat, but it's not something that you need to take on and implement end to end from day one. As you jump into your workflows or your automations here, you'll see something called your AAA-RRR growth flows. These are typically referred to as pirate funnels because AAA-RRR, when read out, just says R, and R sounds like a pirate. Therefore, pirate funnels. And these pirate funnels are types of journeys or types of flows, like I was saying a little bit earlier, that you'll typically see across all scale-ups. It's a system that's quite well adopted, I think, across all software companies, but also around the e-com space, and it's getting and growing further and further over the coming months. So what V01 does is it looks at this as a holistic funnel, and then it looks at all of your users that are going through, and it moves them between these different stages. Why is this important? This is important because I'm sure you've seen this before, where you've signed up to a trial, or you've seen an ad, you've signed up to a trial, and then you keep getting the ads for that same product for the same trial. Or you sign up to the trial, you get the emails, then you convert to a paid customer, but you keep getting the emails that are saying, hey, please upgrade now. That, although it sounds super simple, on a micro level, is very easy to do with V01. And then on a macro level, once you start adding more of these flows and fleshing this out as you grow with your business, it gets more and more complex. V01 aims to remove that complexity and move the people between the stages so they only get the right comms when they need it and where they need it on autopilot. In terms of, yep.
Sorry, I have a question. I have a question on this one. So this workflow list, do you have templates available?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So this is something that is continuously evolving, and you'll see this evolving in your own accounts as well. What you'll have out of the box is a base template for each of the stages of the journeys. This is what you'll get today in purchasing the product. For us to jump into the activation example here, you'll see a sample activation flow that we've built out, and that allows you to customize it to your own business, to your own brand. What you will see over the coming months is additional flows and additional templates within those flows that are automatically injected into your account you can toggle on, off, and customize. So these templates would include the full flow themselves, but also the email templates that would feed into it. And as we continue to scale up the product, the SMS templates or any other types of integrations that we want to make and bring front and center. What you'll expect further down the road is for this to be much more dynamic, or an option for it to be much more dynamic. So when you sign up, you fill out all your business details. This platform will then generate those templates for you based on your business info. And in the longer term, the goal that we're aiming to get towards is for the platform to automatically switch out and test these templates, should you want it to always find the most optimal version for the exact individual contact, instead of just having a single template that applies to everyone in your database.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Really.
Work in progress, but it's an exciting direction that we're heading towards. But as you get it today, you get all the base templates built out, and these base templates will be continued to be added to as we continue to develop more internally over the coming months. Once you do have them in the platform, you can then jump in through the editor like so, click on something like the welcome email. Please work, Alex. This is a live demo. There we go. And then from here, you'll have the option to customize this base setup or use any of the templates that we have. And even those templates can be customized and reused as well. So we've got a couple of samples that sit here. And you can use AI. There's a bunch of different features that we can go around that, but that's probably more deep into questions. Think from a big picture, Alma, that sort of looks at how you edit the automations. So you jump into each of the stages, customize them from there. And then how the automations work, which is bringing the users and pushing them automatically to give them the right content they need, depending on the phase that they are at within your business.
Okay.
So I might jump back to you, Alma, here. Do we have any questions on where we're at so far?
No questions so far. One of our audience asked for the deal page link, so I just dropped the link in our chat and have a look at it.
Awesome. Thank you, Alma. So as a platform, that is the main focus for V01. The focus is really being able to giving you the ability to create these journeys and this marketing nurturing that happens on autopilot and that dynamically adapts and adjusts to your users. As we're doing our research, as I said earlier on in this video, there are a couple of other things that people kept bringing up over and over again that they wanted as base functionality, which is what we look at as more of the horizontal, if the growth marketing was more of the vertical. And so we also cover all of the base CRM things that you need as the horizontal piece. And those examples would typically look like your different pipelines. These can be used for the actual flows, which is what we use them for now, but you can also create your own sales pipelines. We use them internally for like our recruitment pipelines or our investor pipelines. I'll jump into this here and I'll show you a quick overview of what this looks like. See here, again, everything you see on screen is always customizable end to end. You can change any of this, any of the automations around this, all be tailored, but we set it up out of the box to work for you so that you don't need to do all that customization on day one. So you'd have your pipelines here, basic CRM type functionality. We then have calendar. Calendar is something that we've kept, even though it's not super tied to growth marketing. It's just something that we use so much internally with all of our things that we're like, fuck, we're going to keep maintaining this. We'll keep using it. So we might as well offer it to our users. And then finally, we have our forms. And before I dive into the forms, I might answer a couple more questions if they do come up, if there are any other questions, and then I can dive into the forms because they're a bit more different to what you'd typically expect with your forms.
Oh, okay, then. Let's see, because the questions are more towards integration, the SMTP. So we answer those? Okay, let's answer those now. Okay, if we use SMTP, how will we add the custom fields and custom values in automation?
Interpret, lovely to see you again, man. So if we use SMTP, how do we add the custom fields and custom values in automations? I'm not 100% sure what you mean, but I'm assuming you're saying if you use your own SMTP server instead of running through ours, all you need to do is message the little chatbot that you see on the bottom right-hand corner here. Be like, hey, I want to connect my own SMTP. This is something that we're only offering for LTD holders, the ability to connect your own SMTP. So just click on the little chat bar on the bottom right-hand corner, type it in. That will create a ticket. Will tell you everything that you need to give us for the SMTP details, and then we'll map that SMTP account for you. Then the rest of the platform can continue to be used the same as it is today.
Okay, so you mentioned that we can use our own SMTP, but if we want to use your SMTP, how much would that cost us additional?
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
essentially any costs that are incurred for LTD users are the same costs that we pay at wholesale price.
Okay,
So
so
there's no
it's
upcharge. What we
right.
do have, if you jump into, I'll just open this up here on the screen. If you jump over to help.v01.tech, you'll find a little category called Rocket Hub Partnership, which is our launch here today. And in here, you have a breakdown of how much things cost. So you can see, as an example, the pay-as-you-go rates. What is a pay-as-you-go rate? And then if you scroll down a little bit further, we have a quick comparison of our rates versus what you would pay if you went directly to either an SMTP provider or if you had your own sort of from the popular CRM or email automation type platforms. So in principle, you'll pay wholesale price always as an LTD holder. And that cost should always be cheaper than what you'd be paying if you were to use your
Well,
own and bring it in from a different
yeah, I'm looking at the rates. It's really very reasonable. Then I rather use your SMTP than for me to sign up for SendGrid, Mailgun,
Yeah.
Postmark, or yeah, Brevo.
The other side
Cool.
being that we maintain the IP, we take care of the
Yeah, you
deliverability
take care of
rate,
everything. You take care of all
everything.
the headaches. I don't have to worry.
That's
Yes,
right.
that's what I like. Okay, great.
Um,
Okay, so I think there are a lot of questions here from SMTP. The other one is payment gateways.
yep. Okay, so
I think we're a little bit out of the topic. So would
yeah,
you like to continue first? Then we answer questions later.
sure.
Yeah.
I'll finish the little forms example and what makes the
Mhm.
forms different, and then we'll do all the questions after that. So
Right.
in the forms, typically you'd have like every other platform that does forms, it's your typical form type builder with your different fields. V1 is a bit different because it injects and it captures all of the marketing data for every single form submission, and then it stores that data back against the contact. It keeps it there for the life cycle of that contact. What that means is down the line, as you're building a business, as you're trying different forms of marketing, you can go back to your dashboard and you can see exactly where those users are coming from. So what you'll see here, this is our dark version of an auto attribution form. So it's a typical form that you can add your different fields to. You can see that on the left-hand side here, and it's just a simple drag and drop interface. And then you'll see a bunch of hidden fields that live below that as well, just in case you didn't want them or you wanted to change them. And these fields are the fields that will automatically capture that marketing data and store it against the contact. All of our forms that come out of the box do this natively. And it's something that we lean quite heavily against. As I was saying, I think throughout the whole demo, we lean super heavily on the platform automatically collecting all the relevant data that you need, not necessarily for today, but as you grow and scale your business, this type of data becomes super, super important and relevant if you want to maintain a good return on ad spend, return on investment, different types of marketing activities that you're running. Holistically, Alma, I think that covers the bulk of the platform. So again, as a real quick reiteration, I'd say the growth marketing piece, and that's the focus and where you'll see the most updates as a business, and our focus lives around that reporting. So for you to be able to see your data at scale without needing to bring in additional analysts or data engineers that have to scrape through your data. Second part being the contact piece, where all of that is then stored on a micro level, so you can drill down as far as you want. And then finally, the automation piece, where you can take any of those data points and automate marketing to them to do things like, hey, I saw you've signed up from Facebook. I hope you liked our ad about XYZ. Here is the next thing that I want to tell you.
That's cool. And okay, so now we have some questions here. I like this question a lot. Like, if any customer is not converted into a client within a specific time frame, I like this one. Can
Yeah.
we remove that contact?
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
to reclaim the spot.
Mamta, great question. You can pretty much remove contacts. You can essentially, within the automations, you can also set time-based triggers or conditional based triggers that will then split off those contacts if they don't hit a specific goal or reach a journey point when they should. They either disables comms to that contact if we want to keep them in the database but not eliminate them completely. That's important for other reasons I'll get to in a sec. Or if you just wanted to do things like unsubscribe them from your emails so they don't get additional communication. We also just had shipped last week the ability to run your email blasts, so your one-off big blasts instead of just your email nurturing, and get that to automatically fire to the most recent people that engage with the platform, that engage with your marketing content, so you're only ever hitting the top subscribers. But great question.
Yeah, I like that question a lot. Thank you, Mamta, for the question. And then let's see here. Okay, so Ankit asked, remember we were talking about our
Yeah.
bringing our own SMTP or V01 SMTP. So
Yeah.
is SMTP BYOK mandatory for LTD users?
Great question. No, it's not. Out of the box, and so I'll bring just back up while I'm talking to this. What is the pay-as-you-go side of V1? So out of the box, you get the wholesale rates that we offer, and this is set up by default. So once you do sign up, the platform will ask you for your credit card details on sign up. And if you start using the platform, it will automatically bill you at the pay-as-you-go rates, which are the wholesale rates.
Okay.
If you don't want to use this and you have a well-warmed, established SMTP server that you want to pull across and keep using, you can do that as well. Just hit up the support chat and we'll get that connected for you. But I'd say in principle, the way it is designed, obviously LTD versus MRR is a little bit different. And we need to build for MRR in the long term. So the system is designed around that MRR type customer. But we know and we love our little LTD community. We know a lot of you have previous deals. So if there was something that you'd want to bring in, we can set that up manually for you.
All right. Okay. For the email marketing, do you have any suppression list option for automation?
Great question, Suja. Yes, essentially, if you go into your contacts, so I'll open this up here, you can create segments however you want. So any of those data points that I was drilling down on before, whether it's a data point from a marketing point of view, like where did they come from, their source, or different UTM parameters, or if it's a data point from you that you're supplying, they have purchased, they haven't purchased, they have unsubscribed, they haven't unsubscribed, any of this can be managed and create unique segments for. You can then send and select for just your one-off email blasts, you can select just to a specific segment. And then for your automations, you can completely manage how users move between your different data points, what gets added to lists, what doesn't get added to those segments. And you can really automate that end to end. So if I took maybe a real quick example for us in our case, we have two cases that we automatically suppress people. If they mark us as spam, if they bounce, or if they have V1 or test in the username, it will wait 24 hours and then it will automatically sort of block them so that they never get another email from us. It'll keep them as a contact in our database so that we know that they're the person that we shouldn't email because, people come back, they sign up to another ad, and then they're like, I unsubscribed. Why are you emailing me? I'm like, bro, well, now we know. We keep it all there stored historically, but you never need to interact with anyone that you have marked as suppressed.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that because yes, they unsubscribe and then they sign up for something else and then they complain.
Yes.
Oh my God.
As
Albert,
marketers, we go through that all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I like that solution. Okay, so we still have a few questions about the email marketing
Yeah,
part.
absolutely.
So, what type of email is sent? Is it okay? Cold email, definitely not, because these are the people that found you through ads. So it's not a cold email tool. But what kind of emails do you send? Transactional marketing emails.
Marketing emails. So if you did want to use it for transactional, you could. You can probably get better rates from just purely a transactional provider that just does transactional stuff. I don't think most people would be using this for transactional. Marketing
Okay,
emails, 100% is what it's set up to be for.
but it's not for cold email. Okay, I just need to clarify this. It's not
Yeah.
for cold email, and cold emails are for contacts who do not even know you, never made any interaction with you. That's what you call cold email. But with V1, they've already interacted, maybe through ads, through a Facebook comment or whatever. Then they are not cold contacts anymore. Okay, let's go for the next one. Okay, I'm a bit unsure about this. But do you support a warm up tool for LTD user?
It's a great question. Yup. I would say this on a few fronts. If you're looking at it on the cold email front, no. In the typical sense, the way cold email warm up tools work, we do warm up our accounts. And so even if you do sign up on day one, if you try to do a blast of like 1,000 emails that you've just signed up in the first 10 minutes of the platform will suppress it when it hits the first 250. We'll gradually unlock this as your account gets warmed up. And then on our end, we also take care and maintain the IP side of things so that that system stays nice, warm, and delivery rates can't talk tonight. Delivery rates are well maintained out of the box. So I'd say, incoming, sort of outgoing emails for you that aren't cold emails, you don't need to worry about the warmer when you're working with V01. If you're looking to do it for cold emails, though, not the best solution.
All right. Next is, can we delete email subscriber who are not active automatically? So
Nero, that is a
yeah.
great question. Yes, you can. I might show you this as a quick example here while this is open, because we've had a few questions around disabling subscribers, do not disturbing the subscribers or deleting them altogether. What I'll jump into here is what we have out of the box set up. And this is our, hey, if they do unsubscribe, if they do spam, just stop emailing them, but you can also just completely delete them from the database. See it, if email trigger is bounced, spam, they unsubbed, just enable do not disturb, which will then deactivate their comms through any of the flows that they're going through. But if you wanted to completely remove them from your database, I can spell, you can then add another step that then deletes the contact, and that would then completely remove it as if they were never here.
Okay, cool. So Nyok said, so clear. Thank you, Alex.
Thanking up.
Okay. And then the next question we have here is, okay, now let's answer questions about the other types of service, because we talked about the email service. Are you planning to add SMS?
Yes, SMS is the next sort of comms thing that we're looking to work towards. There's some challenges with SMS at the moment with there's regulations and rates that are applied differently between different countries, and we're trying to figure out a way that we can implement this so that it's standardized for everyone. Because it gets super confusing for someone when they email an American contact and they get charged the carrier rate plus the send rate at American rates, and then they email someone in a different country and it's different rates, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? We're looking towards implementing something that's more streamlined that you can use for everybody, which is why it is not live yet, but this is definitely something that we're working towards. So SMS is one of the first new comms features that you'll see over the coming months. Shortly after that, we'll probably work towards WhatsApp and then your Telegram type platforms. And again, this will depend on community driven, who needs what's the most in demand, what is the highest upvoted on the roadmap, and so on.
Okay. So this, and another question would be, we talked about SMS. Is there going to be a browser push?
Yes, that is also, so post SMS, the next one after that is browser push.
Okay, so they already know what's coming.
Yeah. Especially in the growth marketing space, they're the three that you'll see used the most frequently, and they're the three, in my opinion, best ways to without paying crazy amounts of money for ads, retargeting, to quickly bring people back. So email is there live today. SMS will be there before the end of this year, if not super early next year, and then web app push notifications become is what we'll work on shortly after that.
And I believe there is also a possibility of a pay as you go for SMS, right?
Yes. So when SMS is integrated, same rule for the LTD holders are applied across everything that we release, right? So if we can give it to you for free, which means if it doesn't cost us on a per usage basis, we'll give it to you for free. If it's just the cost of developing it, doesn't make sense for LTD buyers to have to pay for an upgrade for that. But we also take into account that we want to be here in 5 years' time and not give you that, heavy heart emails. Oh, sorry, we ran out of money.
Okay.
we're also not including features that we know can cost us a lot of money. If someone jumps in and decides to do big blasts or big automations, if something costs us money, you pay the same rates as what we cost. So when SMS does come around, you'll pay the exact same cost as what it costs us.
Okay, so next is, wait a moment.
Yeah, no, right?
Regarding context lists, can we import direct contact lists from a Google Sheet or a CSV?
Yes, super easily. I'll actually show you this while I've got it live on screen here. So just jump into your contacts. You have an import export option. Both of them are sort of a one-click import or export. Not export, I want to do import. Click. There we go. So just upload your CSV and then map the fields within your CSV to the fields that exist in V01. If you don't yet have the fields in V01, you can also customize. As I was saying before, everything can be tailored and modified to suit your business. So you can create additional custom fields, custom values, and we will have custom objects in the near future as well. And you just map the right fields to the relevant fields within V1. It shouldn't take you more than 3 minutes to import your entire database out of a CSV.
Awesome. That really looks cool. Okay, so the next we have here is, let me see. So we've done suppression list, web push. Okay.
I might answer Yohinda's question just on webhook push there.
All right.
Just because I think there's some relevance in, especially.
Okay, we have a webhook pushed contacts from our server to V01. Okay,
Yohinda, that's a great question, and Alma, no stress whatsoever. That's why we're both on the call. Yohinda, yes. So essentially, you can jump in. I'll just use a sample workflow here as an example. You can create a webhook and send any data that you want to that webhook and map any of that data to anything through an automation with V1. Super flexible. You can also pass and break down that data so it's not taking everything and just capturing the pieces that you need and then storing those pieces either against the contact, creating new contacts, however you want to run that. There is a small cost for the inbound webhook at the moment. This is likely to change in the near future because some of our suppliers are changing this at the moment. And this will change in terms of cost. But essentially, what I can say is the cost for an inbound webhook at the moment is, I have it on here written somewhere, 1 cent per webhook trigger. This is likely to change as, especially over the coming weeks and months. It will always be at this at a maximum price. And if we can lower it, we'll lower it. Anything, Yohinda, to send data out of V1. So if you're sending it to a webhook on your side, that is completely free. There's no cost to that.
Okay, so there are questions regarding integrations. Where do you integrate for now, and what are the plans for integrations in the future?
Yes, great question. So at the moment, we have out of the box, ready to use today, Zapier integration. So you can jump in, you can set up Zapier, you can pull and push everything from and to Zapier. There is no cost to use the Zapier integration. We have the webhook integration, which I mentioned a little bit earlier before too. Again, these are the bigger bulk data automation type integrations. And with the webhook, you can also then run that through platforms like Pabbly, Zapier, Make, or any Albato or any of the newer LTD automation out there as well. We will have API access in the near future as well. That is not quite ready yet. We're aiming to get this out before the end of the year. That will be at no cost to run and send data and integrate over the API. And then outside of the broader contact integration or data automation piece, I might just jump to this here, show you. We can then also integrate with your Google data. So essentially your analytics data that can be pulled in too, as well as your calendar and your emails. So it's all synced and set up in one place. Facebook, Instagram, anything on the Meta platform. So if someone comments and you want to automate replies to that comment and then store that data into V1, do that. Or if someone messages you on Facebook or Instagram and you want to store that data to V1 and reply to the conversations all from that one single inbox, you can do that as well. TikTok, TikTok, LinkedIn integrations for their ad forms. So if someone submits a form on their ads, that also gets passed directly into V1 and correctly attributed. Shopify is something that we're working on at the moment. It will show here, but it won't work yet. Early products. But we should have the Shopify integration fixed very, very soon. It's what the engineers are working on at the moment to fix, and that would be essentially all of your Shopify data. So if someone jumps in, purchases something, that will automatically be pushed and pulled through to V1. But what I think will be more interesting on the Shopify front will be if someone jumps onto your store, they add something to cart, they start the checkout, but they don't finish the checkout. That data is also passed to V01. So then you can start automating emails to them along the lines of, hey, bro, I noticed that you started a checkout, but you didn't finish it. Here's a 10% discount code to help you help push them over the line. And I think you'll see some pretty crazy increases in sales conversions. With,
Yeah, abandoned cart. I like that. One
yeah,
of my favorite email sequences, the abandoned cart sequence.
yeah.
Okay, great. Another thing is the payment gateways. Do you have integration for these?
No integration for payment gateways. It's a consideration that we have at the moment. So this will come down to, in full transparency, it will most likely come down to our MRR customers. At the moment, they don't want to, and from the conversations that we're having, the idea of setting up a payment gateway and a form for that payment that runs through V01 is not something that they really want to do. They would prefer to have a direct integration to whatever tools and systems that they're using. There's some challenges with getting Stripe data in its entirety, because Stripe doesn't send all the data in its entirety in one piece. But what it's looking like at the moment as we look into the future is that we'll build out a couple of integrations for Stripe, for Pabbly, and the popular providers. Not Pabbly, sorry, Paddle. Also Pabbly, but that's a different conversation. And then you can use them for payments, and then the data is then passed back to the platform. So again, your cart abandonment or your nurturing, whatever else might be entailed, then be run through V01.
Okay, and let's see here. Okay, let's go back again to emails. I see some questions about
Yeah.
emails here. Do we get callback for marking spam?
I'm not sure what you mean by callback, Yohinda. Do you have an idea, Elma?
No idea. I thought you might know it. Okay, so Jerginder, please clarify this question and we will be on it later on. Okay, now regarding the dashboard, can we adjust our dashboard reports?
Not today, but this will go live in the month post the deal closing. So essentially, like you can see I have on the page here, I've got a little button that says Edit Dashboard and allows you to add a bunch of new widgets and customize this to your heart's content. This is something that should ship and be live once the deal closes. I would assume at this rate it will be in the first 2 weeks. But if not, jump into the Discord. We can have a chat about it. It's really, really soon. It'll be just around the corner. And then you'll also have the ability to customize your own dashboards. So yes, very, very soon.
Okay, great, great, great. Next, we have a question about, okay, so we had email, then they ask for SMS and browser push. Now, WhatsApp message integration, is
Yeah.
that going to be part of the future?
Likely, but I would leave the WhatsApp piece for now to how the community, like how much of the community wants it and how much usage is going to come out of it. It's something that we have looked into, something that we've sort of spec'd out and mapped. Yes, maybe. Yes, but in terms of priority and when that comes out will very much be based on community-driven feedback of what needs to happen first.
All right. Okay, so next here we have. Okay, this question I also don't understand. How to create ticket for SMTP?
I get that one. No worries. Nero, super
Oh, you
easy.
get that.
Open the platform. Make sure you don't have an ad blocker on, because if you have an ad blocker on, it disables the little chat bubble widget because ad blockers. More details, but we don't need to dive into that. Essentially, jump into the platform. You'll see a little chat bubble. From here, just go into the chat, send us a message, and be like, "Hey, I want to connect my SMTP." The bot will then tell you what information it needs to connect the SMTP. That then gets submitted on our side, and we map it to you. At the moment, it tends to be 24 to 48 hours. We'll have your new SMTP mapped, and I'll send you a little email when it's all ready to go.
Okay, got it, got it. Because I thought that as at this stage we can already use our own SMTP and we set it up ourselves. So V1 will even set it up for us if we have our own. If we bring our own SMTP.
Yeah, so once we enable for you the custom SMTP setup, you can then customize it yourself. Out of the box, it's not enabled because it's not something we're offering for non-LTD customers.
Okay, so this is another question. How many emails can we actually send per day?
MRX, that's a very good question. There is no limit to the amount of emails or automations that you can send per day. Back to the pricing model before, and sort of a little bit of history from me working in growth marketing and in the space. Us marketers, the best thing that we can do is build databases of leads and then start leveraging those databases. If you look at a lot of the platforms out there, your typical Klaviyo's, HubSpot type platforms, they charge you on average $1 per contact per year that you store in their database once you enter a paid plan. That was something that is not scalable at all because it just hurts you, right? The more you grow, the more you have to pay. That doesn't make sense. So for us, there's no limit to the amount of emails that you can send. It's completely unlimited. You pay per use of the SMTP server. So again, I'll take it back to the pricing tiers super quickly here. But essentially for LTD holders, you pay exactly the same cost that we pay. And this will never change for all of the LTD accounts. And from there, so when you do want to send, you can send unlimited emails, but you pay per send. Essentially, you pay per use type thing.
Right, they pay as you go, so it's
Pay
not even, yeah, it's not even like, hey, you have to pay V01 say $25 each month for this. No, so it's only if you use it, you pay for it.
yeah,
If you
that's
don't use it, you don't.
100%. It's a credit-based system. So also, if you look at the biggest ESPs and or SMTP providers or email automation tools, they'll give you a quota of emails that you can send that resets every month. And if you use 10% or 100% of it, you pay the same thing every month. In our case, you only pay for what you use ever. So if you want to do 100,000 emails month one and then 1,000 emails month two, you only pay for month one and then month two. You can also add credits to your account. Those credits never expire. So pay as you go without the monthly recurring fees.
Okay, thanks so much. Hey, by the way, you guys already dropped the giveaway for me. Maybe next time I should use the form on V1, and then I can do the growth marketing from there.
Hey, yeah.
Yay! So one use case that I'll do. Okay. So the next thing here is, okay. So Jacinto now clarified this question. So you showed that we can remove contacts if anyone unsubscribes or marks our email as
Yes.
spam. How do we know if someone has marked our email as spam? Do you receive any callback for these events?
So you do. If you go into your email stats, I haven't sent any emails from this account because it's my demo account. But essentially, if you jump into the stats and you have a look at any of the email campaigns that have been sent, you'll have an option here, and that will give you the complete breakdown of how many were sent, how many were delivered, how many bounced, how many went to spam, and how many unsubscribed. From there, you can also automate any of those data points and do anything with that. So if you wanted to do something like, hey, tell my sales guy every time a key customer unsubscribes, and so that they can reach out, make sure everything is okay with that account, you can set that up as an automation. When I was talking, and again, back to the automation piece, everything is very modular, right? So you can automate any data point to any data point, any marketing piece to any marketing piece, or any marketing piece to any data point, or anything in between. And that includes the unsubscribes.
Okay, that's really cool. And there's another question. Can we connect like GHL payments, Razor Pay?
Rahul, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into Razorpay enough. Go high level, given that our platform runs on the same backend, like high level. So I'll start this over. High level runs a white label product called Lead Connector, which is like the backend of their system. V01 runs on the same backend as high level, or that same system. It's a white labeled system. There are a bunch of integrations that exist in this where you can just pass data between high level and V1 accounts. I have not looked into this as a use case, though, specifically for payments. If it is something super important and you want to know more, I'd say jump into the community, ask the question there, and I can look into it a little bit deeper. But for the most part, if you needed to use V1 as the payment gateway, I'd say no. If you have a payment gateway and you can pass data from that payment gateway, whether it's a native integration on their side or through something like Zapier, webhooks, Pabbly, Make, whatever, that you can do without any problems.
Okay, got it. So Rahul, join the community. I believe it's on Discord.
Yes.
and they will look into your question. So just ask the question there, and they will look into it. Yeah, they will look deeper into it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so next we have here Vikash. Can we train customized chatbot? Do you have a chatbot
We
included here?
we do in its very basic form at the moment. So you can
Okay,
jump in and you can customize your chat widgets. Give me 1 second. So you can go in and change pretty much anything that looks like how it appears on the website. Again, same marketing data is collected as you would with forms. You can then also train your bot on a custom database or on any additional information. So if you jump into your settings and into conversation AI, you'll see your bot options here and your bot trial, your bot training. So you can test out what you've trained to it, feed it additional data, you can feed it additional intents. I would say, though, this is very much a GPT wrapper at this stage. This is something that we're looking towards. AI and the AI automation piece is a big pillar of our plan for 2025. So doing things like your custom chatbots, but also taking that a step further and having complete customization through AI for anything throughout the funnels, they will come early next year. Well, early
okay,
next year in the first versions, and then we'll keep iterating it throughout the year.
okay. Given that this was actually initially designed for SaaS, right?
Yeah,
Do you also support like customer support tickets or ticketing
we do
here?
not. There are
Not yet.
no plans to support tickets. If you did want to, you could probably hack something together with the chats and the emails. But I would say it's not designed as a customer support platform. Even ourselves, we don't use V01 for customer support. We use a dedicated customer support.
Okay. And can we have ticket booking option for our customers?
No, I don't think. So Vikash, great question. I would assume that you're saying this in the sense of like they fill out a form. If I take this down to like just the tech side, right? They fill out a form that's on an event page, and then they get an email with a ticket, and it's like their first name, the data, the information about the event that they're going to. That you can do, as it's pretty much just the basic form with a basic automation. Beyond that, in terms of more event management type platforms, that's not a space that we're looking to go down. If anything, and if it's a space that is of interest, we'll probably do integrations with other platforms. But it's again, that's probably a little bit further into the future. There's no plans for event management at this stage.
Okay, okay. Got it. So I think we answered all the questions. Thank you
Already?
so much, guys, for the questions. Oh, we have a lot of we had a lot of questions, yeah. So this is the thing we do here. We ask a lot of questions. So thanks so much, Alex, for sharing with us V1 and for sharing with our community how V1 can actually help us grow our business. Oh, one more thing is going to be attached QR
Yeah.
code.
Yes. Yeah. So QR codes, link redirects, and we just introduced email timers as well as or timer, like countdown timers. They are all available with the redirect functionality in the platform. But also you could use any other QR code and just embed it, and then that would work as well.
Okay. So, yes. So now we really answered all the questions. If I missed any questions, just let me know.
Yeah.
Elma, you missed my question and this was my question. Okay. Because that also happens. So now I will look into um, our form and see who joined our. Okay. I got it. Okay, so now I'm going to download the form. Is there, by the way, can you please discuss the deal details on Rocket Hub right now?
Yes.
So they can, while I am downloading the list for our
Yeah.
giveaway.
No problem at all. So I might just
Right.
jump back into a screen share if that's all right with you, Alma.
Yes,
I can
please.
show the deal page on the screen, and I can walk through what it means and the different things. So I've just re-enabled sharing. Sorry, I turned it off before we talked about this.
Wait a moment.
Yep, there
There
we go.
you go.
Thank you, thank you. So let's jump over to the different tiers and what's included. So for all plans, the idea, and it was the same when I did this last year with Web Studio. In general, whenever possible, I want all of the features to be the same across all tiers. So the limitations and the difference between the tiers is really just going to be in volumes. So everything we walked through today, from the integrations, the automations, the emails, the contact forms, calendars, all of that is included in every single tier of the deal. The main differences that you'll see on the different tiers is the amount of contacts that you can pull in. Again, these are very, very generous contact limits if you contrast this to other platforms, and I'll show you that comparison in just a second. And then the amount of seats. So the seats are the people. Thank you, Don. The seats are the people. I should have read the question. The seats are the people who are in the platform using the tool. So it's like your colleagues, right? So you might have a marketer, a sales guy, a boss. There are the amount of seats. So on tier one, I think there's a bit of background sound, Alma. Okay, it's gone. We're all
Me?
good. Yep. No, we're sweet. We're sweet. In tier one, you have one seat. So it's like one user. There's one person at the company that is going to use the platform. Tier two, 10 seats. You have up to 10 people, 10 staff in the company that would use the platform. And then tier three, 30 seats. It's pretty much everything that you would ever use, unless you're a huge, 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 huge marketing company. And then that is, again, 30 people within your team. Each of the tiers are designed for a single brand. That is the one caveat that I think is important for everyone to know. V01 is in principle designed for single brands. There's use cases for agencies, and we have some examples, and we'll have some more examples in the future. But I'd say have a look at the integration video on YouTube, which is a great agency use case. But otherwise, single brand, lots of contacts. But the main difference is contacts change between the tiers. Features stay the same across all tiers. Oh,
Sorry.
no, I was going to
Please
say.
continue.
Interpret is asking, is the deal stackable? It is not. Please buy the tier that you want from the beginning. If you buy and you want to upgrade, we can do the upgrade, but it's a manual process. So we need to jump in, unmap your old account, and then remap your account to the new one if you do decide to do the upgrade process. What I would say is, if possible, buy the tier that you need from day one.
Okay.
Leo,
Yes, the same thing. Same
Leo
question.
here is asking, can I switch to T1 any of the other times? No. So once the deal is over, it's live for will probably be live for another week or so. I'll speak to the Rocket Hub team to extend it to the end of next week. Once this deal is over, there are no more LTDs. We will come back for a Black Friday LTD, most likely. But the price, I would expect it to start closer to the $500 mark at the lowest tier. So this is the only launch that it's going to be at these crazy prices. After that, it will be at a more reasonable LTD price. And then post the second Black Friday launch, we will only have MRR customers.
Okay, and currently there's still a discount of, I believe, 10%, right, on Rocket Hub?
Yes, that's correct.
See there on the screen. So if you get it today, the next 4 days, and I already posted the link earlier on where you can get it on Rocket Hub, you can get 10% off and just use the discount code that Rocket Hub posted on their screen. Okay, then. Let's see here. This LTD is awesome for me. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Don.
Awesome.
Yes, Interpret said promising platform. Thank you. And let's see. Because hey, the audience, thank you, Alex, because you answered Brave's question earlier.
Thank you, Brave.
Yeah. And Locke said everything is so clear. Thank you, Alex. All right.
To the heart,
So
thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for all the great questions, like some really good things. And this engagement, these types of calls, interactions with users, customers, potential marketing talk. This is what I live by. This is what gets me out of bed in the morning. So feel free to reach out anytime if you do have any questions.
even
Either
when it's raining, right? It gets you out of bed.
yes,
Even
yes.
raining.
Even if it's
Okay.
my
All right, all
human
right, all right.
contacts.
Okay, then. So thank you so much, everyone. So I'm now ready with our
Whoa,
wheel of names. Yay, we are back here in
yeah.
our wheel of names, and just gonna sort it. And these are the people who joined. us today. So we have total 24. We have Akbar Ali, Ankit Dixit, Ankit Prajapati, Brave Lee, Craig Vidal, Darren Davis, Gulam, Gursharan, HM Interpret, Jennifer, Joginder, Leo, Mamta, Kim. I cannot read the other one. Gafar, Mizanur, MRX, Niru, Nyok, Punam, Rahul, Tasmule, and Vikash. Did I miss anyone? Okay, nobody's complaining. So today we're going to have three winners of tier one account. Thanks so much again, Alex. And we are going to do this.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Ah. Hoo. Wow, brave!
Brave! Congratulations! You know
Congratulations,
what?
Mr. Brave.
Yeah, I really need to learn how to use these. There is sound effects on Wave, but I never bothered to learn. I should learn to do that. Okay, so next one is
Do it. Mizanur!
Mizanur.
Woohoo, let's
Congratulations,
go!
Mizanur. Ted is missing. Ted, I did not see your entry. It's okay. I can add you here. Let's do that.
Brave is just realizing it's just.
Yeah, Brave, you are so lucky. Yes, we know that. And
Hey, Ted.
Mizanur, are you there? And Ted, I just added you. Okay, let's shuffle this again. Congratulations, Mizanur. So he's there too. And
Yes, lovely.
let's do
That's so cool.
this.
You got the last one. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Mizanur again. Okay, now.
No, Vicky. Vikash!
Cash.
Let's go!
Okay, congratulations, Vikash. Thank you so much, everyone. So our three winners are Brave, Misanura, and Vikash. So thank you so much for joining us today. After these, Brave, Misanura, and Vikash, please contact me via Facebook Messenger, and I will send you the codes for V1 and start using your V1 accounts because this is something that is very promising. It would really help you grow your business. So thank you so much. Thanks, Alex, and I'll see you again next time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Alma, thank you so much. An absolute pleasure. Chat, thank you all so much as well for engaging and being part of the conversation. It was so cool. I had a blast.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Good night.